and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be my full-on Accutane experience video. I'm super excited to do this. This is a long time coming with my journey starting and just my journey ending and just figuring out the right time to film this and everything. I'm not sure if I'm going to post it this week or the week after, but you'll know by the time you see this video and stuff like that. And I'm super excited to just be telling you about my journey, telling you my opinions on it, and just telling you all that kind of stuff. And yeah, I'm super excited to be talking about my journey and just answering some just generalized questions and everything like that to kind of just sum up my experience. And I'm super excited about it and everything. So this is what my skin is looking like right now and everything. It looks worse on camera. Like, my skin looks great, but the scarring is what I mean, is that it looks worse and more red on camera, but in person it's not really that bad. And yeah, so that's what my skin is looking like, and I'm going to show you like what my skin went through. So I've had like bad acne, like you've heard me say through all my videos I've done, and I'll link them all up above if you want to catch up or if you just want to watch them again. I've always had acne, but like I've had bad acne for like 2 years and everything. It was so bad. I literally didn't do anything for those 2 years. Like, once it got bad, I waited a year, and then like I basically was like, okay, I need to do something. And I went through that whole experience, you know, trying everything, and then finally a year later coming to the resort of Accutane and everything. I was hesitant about Accutane as it was recommended the first time. I've always heard about it, but at the time I didn't really watch any like journeys. So I've watched several people's Accutane journeys, and I actually watched one as I was going through Accutane, which was cool. I actually watched a couple people go through it as I was going through it, so it was cool to see their improvement, my improvement, and everything. Then we got to this Accutane experience, and I couldn't even imagine my Accutane experience being better. People always focus on like the bad things when it comes to especially Accutane. Honestly, my experience was a very good experience. I really would recommend Accutane. Of course, do your own research. I'm not condoning Accutane. I'm not saying, oh, you must try Accutane. I'm not a spokesperson for Accutane is what I'm trying to say. Do your own research, figure out what's best for you, and go from there. Of course, like I'm just recording my experience and my opinions on Accutane and how it worked for me. It might not work the same for you, it might work the same for you. And sometimes it can work, sometimes it won't. I think you just definitely have to do your research, talk to your own doctor, and see what's best for you. And yeah, so this is kind of where my skin went through. So I'm going to show you pictures probably a year before, because that's when it was at its worst. And then I'm going to show you pictures for obviously on Accutane, and then just a little bit before Accutane and everything. And my skin has remarkably changed. If you've been watching my videos for a while, like a long time, you know that like when I first started YouTube, I had pretty clear skin if you went back there. And I always would get like acne, but like it was never terrible. And then like obviously it got terrible. And then if you've been watching, like I said, if you've been watching for a while, then you saw my skin just get worse. And it was terrible. It was so bad that like when I would film like tutorials, that like it was so different having foundation on compared to my bare skin. And honestly, the emotional part of having really bad acne, I feel like it really drained me. I was still like happy and stuff like that. I was still like happy, but like I wasn't confident. I literally wouldn't leave the house without a full face of makeup because I felt so like, I don't want to say this, but I felt like ugly. Like I felt like terrible about my skin. I felt like, oh, I'm not pretty because I have all this bad acne. And also like it just, I don't want to say it made me depressed, but it did make me feel like in a depression. I don't know if I was depressed for long term. I don't think I was depressed because I was still happy, but when it came to my skin, I was just very like, you know, like down and stuff. Like it didn't make me feel good, because a lot of girls, they can just go out of the house without makeup on and look like, you know, a Victoria's Secret model, and I was like, I can't do that. And it was just hard, like, you know, with that, you know what I mean? I don't know what to say, but like it was just hard. So getting clear skin and seeing my skin improve really boosted up my confidence. I definitely don't care if I go out of the house without makeup. Last semester when I was in school, I only had classes Tuesdays, Thursdays, and I had to be somewhere on Wednesdays. So I wouldn't wear makeup up like Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Friday, most days. So I was pretty confident when my skin started getting better. I started not wearing makeup less and less. Really boosted up my confidence and everything. Now I'm going to talk about my symptoms on Accutane. I feel like I didn't really have terrible symptoms on Accutane. Everybody has dry lips, and I definitely went through that. The time that I started Accutane in November 21st, and I ended in April. So the time that I started, my lips were a little bit dry, but they weren't terrible. So, but honestly, I've heard from people, oh, starting the winter is terrible. And I started like, you know, kind of winter, kind of not. And I think the time I started was actually a good time to start, just because, I don't know why, I just think it was a good time. It wasn't terrible. I did have very, very dry lips, and they were really bad. Like, they were so bad. They were so like crusty. They were just, they felt almost so big. They like felt like they went forward almost like this, just because they were so crusty and just so much. Like, I remember getting up every day, taking my e.l.f. exfoliator, exfoliating my lips, and then putting on my Aquaphor, like literally like smearing it on and then putting something on over that. I remember doing that at least 100 times a day. So I did have really bad dry lips. That probably, I don't know, it didn't start like right when I started Accutane. I did get a little bit of dry lips when I started, but I feel like it really got into its very dry state after a month. So I pretty much did have the dry lips the whole time, which it wasn't a terrible symptom because everybody really goes through it. And then also the dry skin. It actually happened quicker than I feel like most people's do. I don't know if that's because I had combo skin or what it was, but I typically do get dry skin though in winter, so that could be that. But I did notice that like after like 2 months, I'd say my skin was extremely dry. I feel like, I don't even know if it went to a normal state, my skin. Like, I feel like it went just from like being combo to dry. It might have been normal for like a little bit, but I think it wasn't, honestly. Like, I think it went straight to dry, which I actually didn't mind having like dry skin, just because I could wear like glowy, dewy, just really like hydrating products, and I really like that. I did notice though, like in the mornings, if I didn't wash and like moisturize right away, I would literally get like dry patches like on my forehead and just around my face. It was terrible. I was like, oh my god, I look crazy. Like, I look like a crazy person, but it wasn't terrible. I did get some back pain, but for me, like, headaches and back pain were the two things like I couldn't really tell if like it was cause of Accutane, because those are things I have gotten before Accutane. I don't get them like obviously every day and stuff, but it wasn't, I think it was because of Accutane, maybe a little bit. Not sure about the headaches, that might have just been me. Those weren't terrible. I did get joint pains in my legs and everything, and it did hurt like when I walked in my joints, because I would get those joint pains and everything. But I tried to take like hot showers and stuff like that and kind of try to keep them just, you know, nice and good. But it was kind of hard a lot of times because my legs would hurt. So a lot of times if I had to go to upper campus, I would a lot of times take the bus because I couldn't walk that far because it was just a lot. So yeah, that's that. And those are like kind of the main symptoms that I kind of went through. I know it, like in the beginning I had like, I felt like a super weird thing. Like, for some odd reason, some foods that I normally would like for some odd reason, I don't know, it might have just been in my head, but like I just like was like, that's disgusting. Like, I was, chicken's disgusting. I don't know why I thought that, but I did. And everybody's like, go vegan, and I'm like, no, I can't go vegan. Like, I couldn't. I could go pescatarian or vegetarian, but vegan, I'm sorry, I can't do that. Like, I can't. It might have just been me because I'm not having that issue anymore. And I don't know if my skin went through a purge state. I know a lot of people that do these videos talk about how their skin was purging. I definitely noticed that throughout my experience. I think it was after the first or second month, my skin was like breaking out in a certain area and stuff. Like, it would just break out and then everything, but it wasn't terrible. I didn't get like these huge cysts. They were like pretty like decent pimples. It wasn't like a huge cyst or anything like that. It wasn't like terrible. So I did notice like little breakouts and just little pimples here and there, kind of as I was first starting with Accutane within the first few months. Then I think I really noticed a difference in month 3, and definitely in month 4 I noticed a difference. I honestly even started noticing a difference at month 2 and everything. I'll also touch on like how kind of my experience goes right here. So like basically I saw my doctor every single month, so I didn't go to dermatologist. I just went to a like just regular practicing doctor at my like doctor's office's practice. And the thing about Accutane in doctor's offices is I don't know, it's probably different based on state and where you live, but for my doctor's office, the doctor that I saw, there was actually only 2 doctors in the practice that were able to prescribe Accutane because you have to go through certain training. And actually my doctor, which I think this is kind of cool, my doctor was in the clinical trials for Accutane and everything, so he always talked about that, and I thought that was just funny, and I don't know, I just thought that was neat and everything. Yeah, so I saw my doctor every month, so I got like my, I guess you could call it consultation, and then so they did blood work there. I came back in 2 weeks and they did blood work again, and then I was able to get my medication and everything. Like I had to do the I pledge thing, and you know, my forms of birth control, which I just did birth control and abstinence, which you only have to pick as abstinence, but they want you to take birth control as well, of course, as a precaution, even if. So yeah, I did that, and then I would go to my doctor's office every month, and then 2 weeks after that appointment I would go get blood work. I ended up just doing my blood work at my school, so at like my health center in my school, which it was actually a lot easier because obviously every time I needed my blood work that was after my doctor's appointment, I didn't have to come home, so that made it really easy. And the nurse I had there was such an angel, such a doll, so I really liked her, and she was always like super nice to me and everything, and she was always just like chatting with me about Accutane, which was always nice, and it made my experience better just having to get blood work. And blood work was a thing. Like blood work was a thing. I'm so happy to be done with blood work. I just got my last blood work done like literally a week ago. Still had the bruise and everything, but you know, that's just me. So that actually wasn't bad. So I am saw my doctor a lot over these past 5 months because I was on Accutane for about 20 weeks and everything, and yeah, I saw lots of him, and I think that's better to see. I know some people, they literally don't see their doctor that much, but I saw my doctor every month, so I feel like he really saw my progress, and I was able to see my progress and stuff. Medically wise, I didn't have any issues with my liver when they checked it when they were doing the blood tests. I never had any medical complications that way. I definitely think obviously it's a risk that you're going through with taking Accutane, since it is such a high dose of vitamin A, because that's basically what it is. It's basically a high dose of vitamin A. To get rid of Accutane, I know there's health risks aside of it, but I didn't have any of the terrible symptoms, and I didn't have any terrible health risks. Of course, when you're on Accutane, you're supposed to be avoiding alcohol and stuff like that, and definitely like some people are like, oh, I'm turning 21, I'm on Accutane. You could drink one night, it's not gonna kill you, just don't go overboard. And it's like, just don't be drinking every day because your liver is already like going through it with Accutane, so it's good to just not go crazy and everything. And I feel like this video is all over the place. One minute I'm talking about symptoms, and the other minute I'm talking about health complications and how my experience went that way. I pledge was a little pain. Sometimes it would not work because my doctor's office would be annoying, but for the most part I pledge was pretty good, and I know it works differently in each state and each country, so definitely do your own research also on that. For me in New York, this is how it went down. I'd fill out I pledge or whatever, and then I'd be able to get my medication like pretty much after they like filled it. I would call them, tell them I finished it, and then they'd be like, okay, you can pick up your prescription at blah 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 time. And it was a little bit of pain, and Accutane was kind of expensive at some point because we switched insurances and everything through my dad's work, and we had to pay a little bit more for my last couple months, but in the end obviously it was all worth it, so I don't regret anything. And I'm so thankful for my parents for just, you know, allowing me to have Accutane and just really supporting me through this experience. It was a great experience. I'm really happy with where my skin is now. I feel so confident, and I just feel so good about myself. Like, I love myself, and I've just gotten so much confidence, and I feel like I was confident before, but now I feel like I'm pretty high up there in confidence. Like, I almost feel like 100% confident, which is great. I love that feeling of just feeling good, and good to feel good about yourself and everything. And yeah, I'm only a couple weeks post-op Accutane, so I would probably do a 3-month post-Accutane update if you want to see that. And I'm still dry. I'm not like terribly dry. My lips pretty much went back to normal like 2 weeks after I finished Accutane. They are still a little bit dry because I do typically have like a little bit of dryness in my lip, but it's nothing like on Accutane dry lips. And yeah, my skin's a little bit still dry, but it's not terrible. It's definitely manageable and everything. And yeah, I don't know. I feel like this video, like I said before, it's all over the place. I feel like I was just one way over here, one way over here. I feel like that was pretty much my experience. Like I said, it was a great experience. I feel like I really saw changes in my skin, and even the scarring has gone down, which a lot of people say that's not because of Accutane. My doctor said like with Accutane it might get rid of some of these scars and redness, and definitely my redness has gone down so much. Like, my skin used to be so red, and yeah, I'm so happy with what my skin looks like. I've honestly, like, since being home and since, you know, finishing all this stuff up, I've never been happier, and I just feel so good about myself. So yeah, I think this is where I'm gonna leave off this little my journey. This is my journey, and I really am happy with just everything that went down. And yeah, that's it for my journey. If you have any questions for me, I'd love to do an Accutane Q&A if you have any more questions and everything. But also, I just want to answer the question of, will I do it again? Was it worth it? It was 100% worth it. If my acne overnight came back, I would definitely do it again for sure. My doctor said unless you fall asleep with a piece of pizza all over your face and body, your acne won't come back, because I had acne on my chest and also my back, and that acne has pretty much cleared up. I do have scars, but you know, I'm not afraid to have scars, and you can always like get rid of them somehow, like with lasers and stuff, which I'm considering, like all those things like facials, lasers, light therapy, stuff like that, but I just don't want to do it right now, and I can't do it right now. I should at least wait until I'm like 6 weeks post-op. But also I kind of want to wait, like I'll wait a couple months for facial, but I also want to like wait like a year to try therapies and stuff like that, because I just want to see like how my skin goes down on my own. And yeah, so like I said, I would do it again. My doctor said though that it's very unlikely my acne would come back. I'm pretty much cured. And yeah, so yeah, this is gonna be it for my journey. Like I said, if you have any other questions for me, just leave them down below and I'll do like an Accutane Q&A. And you can also tweet them to me at justkatieh, or you can Instagram DM them to me at Katiexobeauty. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this Accutane, you know, journey. I'm so happy the journey is over, but I'm just happy with the results. That's why I'm happy it's over. And yeah, please give this video a thumbs up. Comment down below, like I said, just let me know any videos you see next and ask me questions. And please subscribe if you haven't already, because I post videos every single week, and I would love for you to be subscribed to my channel. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day, night, whenever you're watching this, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!